Oh, there's
Hello
Elizabeth.
there.
Hi there. Problem signing in. Eventbrite does not give the immediate join button right from the start. It gives you
Yeah,
access it, then it says event details, then it says something, then you sign up again. And so my first
yep,
suggestion would be a direct link and
yep.
not,
That's what, thank you. We did. That's why I sent one and started posting it everywhere because I realized the button was gone.
yeah.
But
I I don't like to be late, so I'm like
no, I don't think anyone here does.
frantically, frantically emailing Gary. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I wound up here.
All right. Well, I'd like to welcome you all here today. I'm Thomas Hall, Executive Director of Clean Start, and this is our information session on the Deep Dive Accelerator. The Deep Dive Accelerator is a follow-up to Clean Start's CEO crash course for later stage companies that have some traction. Now, with that, I'm going to highlight Gary Simon, and he's going to run us through what is in the Deep Dive course, and then we're going to open it up to questions. All right. So I'm going to spotlight Gary. And there's a chance that Gary might switch which device he's on in the middle of this, and we'll just accommodate him as that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me, is everybody on, Thomas?
We've got a good amount of people on. We've got 6 people on here, and then on the stream we've got actually another 6.
Okay, so um, I don't know what the streaming means in terms of people asking questions. I
I'm
suppose
watching
that
that.
means, okay, all right, very good. Well, sorry, Eventbrite again causes problems for people, so I'm glad that we do have, I think, everybody here. So let me introduce myself. Gary Simon. I founded Clean Start 20 years ago. I've got experience leading 5 startups and actually 2 big Fortune 500 companies as well. And we created Clean Start 2 decades ago to provide support to people with clever ideas and felt they needed assistance making those ideas into marketable products and growing their companies. So I'm joined today by Tzvi Weber, who's our entrepreneur in residence of the organization, and we're going to go through why we're setting up this deep dive program. So um, over the 20 years that we've been working, we've had the experience of getting people to a certain stage where they're successful, getting some small money up front, they've refined their product, sales start, and so they have a product that customers want and are paying for. But wouldn't you know it, then problems start. Their sales growth is slow. Because of that, it's difficult to find potential funding to expand your efforts. And going back and talking to more accelerators, as some of you have had that experience, I'm sure, general advice is not as helpful as you would like. So our diagnosis of what we needed to provide was something that gave you more customized experience in being mentored, coached, and answered questions specifically for your product. So let's go to the next slide. So what we need, or what we think you need, is a deep dive into the problems of your company, the issues you're facing, and getting some help specifically on that. So instead of a lot of general classes that you find in other accelerators, we've set up Deep Dive to give you access to multiple experts that will look at your situation and offer specific advice for you. We also will bring in several experienced entrepreneurs explaining what they did to succeed and what they needed to do to get over this hurdle of getting somewhat stuck. We'll describe how you can do some experiments simply, cheaply, quickly to determine whether you have a business idea that's going to take off. So we're going to help you do the work needed to answer key questions that investors will want answers to before they give you access to additional investment. So let's go to the next slide. Well, where are we trying to get you in this program? The best place to be looking for additional money to scale your growth is a story that says, I have more demand than I can keep up with. But usually what people come forward with is a story which says, I've got some ideas. I need money to do a version 2, 3, or 4 of my product and see how that works. And see if we can get some momentum going with customers. Well, to an investor and to others, that sounds like risk. How do you get around that risk? How do you make it look less risky? And a lot of it is you have to build customer enthusiasm for what you're doing. What's customer enthusiasm? It's having customers say, after they've heard the description and heard how you're going to solve their problem, I must have that product. When you talk to customers, you often hear, well, it sounds interesting, give me some more information. I'm not interested, or I've got to have that product. The only one that's useful is I've got to have that product. The one in the middle that says send me more information usually just results in a waste of time. And you have to do something to where you build enthusiasm by word of mouth, by things that are happening on social media. In other words, making your marketing go viral. Next slide. Well, how are we going to get you there? What we've assembled is a strong bench of advisors and experts to work with you over the course of this program. We know, since you're already in business and you're already trying to generate revenue, you're busy. So what we decided to do is take a pace where we come together and we have classes together as a group. We have a speaker. We have lots of Q&A. They talk to you about your program. And actually you present things to your peers when we're all together in the classes. And then those are done every other week. And in the alternate weeks, you're working specifically with mentors, either one-on-one, or you might be one on a group of mentors that we've assembled to help you. And you're going to be doing some homework. You're going to be asked some questions and say, well, give that some thought and come back to us and tell us what you found out. So you're going to be presented a framework of questions you need to answer that will sort of get you to that point of building customer enthusiasm. And the whole program ends that lets you make your pitch, explain your business, and you'll get more than 3 minutes to do it. There's lots of programs out there that give you an opportunity to do the 2, 3, 5 minute pitch, but that's only tickles interest. You need to get into the details more. You're beyond the 2 minute pitch stage. You now need to make sure that you're answering questions that people who want to fund you will find attractive. Next slide. So who's on our bench? Overall, we're very pleased that David Bland, who is a world-known expert on getting to customer enthusiasm by testing business ideas to find the ones that lead to very rapid growth. He'll be there very early in the sequence of classes, and his framework for how you go about establishing ways to get to your customers and make them very enthusiastic. What ways will work for you? He'll actually be doing 2 things with us. We'll be having the one lecture session, and then he has a program where he takes companies one by one and says, let's pick apart your business plan and see what I can tell you about how to test ideas. So he'll be doing both for us. We've also lined up a number of entrepreneurs that have grown businesses to over $200 million valuations. So sometimes you just want to hear that voice of experience, and you want to hear their stories, and you want to see how they did it. So these aren't the only ones that will be joining us. But this is a good example. So each one of these entities have either grown businesses and sold them, or they've grown business and they're operating them now, or they have retired from the business. But there's some very interesting stories here that you can learn from. We will add to that legal and financial experts that know the ropes about growing a business and where the pitfalls are. Witten Law and Doug Bosley will be joining us throughout the session. We're always providing that not only legal expertise, but Doug has taken several companies as they scale up and has experienced the problems that they've struggled with. So he'll be a good advisor throughout. And then we have others that are on the program. Dennis Wingate, well known, and he has a business in the Sierras. He also teaches at Sierra College. Very good on telling people how to organize financials, what investors are looking for. Moss Adams is an accounting firm. We bring people to that. And River City Bank, which is very experienced in doing project financing, also going and using the Green Bank, or what's sometimes called the iBank. It's a source of public funding with guaranteed loans. And then finally, we want to put you in front of.
Yes, Mr. Gary, can you hear me? What happened, sir? You have taken over.
Please keep yourself on mute till the end.
So which thing is that coming in on?
Mr. Gary, can you hear me?
Okay, here we go. I think that's got it. Okay, sorry. We're going with some investors that you probably haven't connected with before, or even heard about. But these are investors that are more mid-range, and they are specifically interested in what you might be able to offer, and they're more regionally oriented. So seeing investors, talking with them before you're actually trying to go in and ask them for money is important, but also they will be on the panel at the end of the session where you'll be making that last pitch. And what do you need to prove in that last pitch? You need to talk about, have you secured that customer enthusiasm? And how are you going to scale up knowing that information? What will be your first uses of money? And what will be happening with your plan over the next 5 years? All right, let's go on to the next slide. So how much time does it take? Well, it's actually a 24-week course with 12 learning modules and then the presentations at the end. We've structured it around one evening meeting per week. Be about 2.5 hours. We're hoping that everybody can get together for that and be in the room together. Being in person really helps in this kind of learning experience. The 12 learning modules will generally have a guest speaker with class presentations one week, and as I said, followed by coaching sessions that we will arrange the following week. And that session that we have going into the evenings will be one that generally there will be some peer presentations, and you'll get some peer feedback from the people that are in the course. It begins April 23rd and ends October 22nd. We've got a 2-week August break. Now, obviously, that's a long time, 24 weeks. But we're trying to do that to keep it in the realm of what's possible with your very busy schedules. Some of it can be done in virtual sessions, and we'll try to make use of that as best we can. So the details actually will depend on what your schedule is like and the availability at particular times of our mentors and coaches. Next slide. So here's the 12 classes. We're going to start with your making some presentations on where you are with your company, telling us, where you are in terms of the sales process, what goals you'd like to achieve, and then we'll hear from David Bland on this thing of testing business ideas, going over your value proposition, and really the customer enthusiasm is all about what's called product market fit. What's a good example of a company that's managed to get to good product market fit? Well, a company like Uber. You know what it is now. You know what it does. You know people are using it, and they're getting millions of rides booked per day. Where they started out wasn't where they are now. They really had to refine their product and get to it. But it's that sort of knowledge, word of mouth. And when you think about it, how did you hear about Uber? Was it on social media? Did you hear about it from a friend for the first time? How do you get in that category? How do you turbocharge your sales growth? And you will have an idea of what it takes to build a team to do that. And often, companies in your situation, the thing they need most is some more help on just going out with good sales and marketing. Then we talk about scaling. You're going to have to prove your profitability to get interesting to people who want to put money in. How you can fund that breakout growth. And obviously, with Doug's help in this one session, the legal pitfalls. Now what's your best case for showing that you're going to have customer enthusiasm, and test that in front of investors? That's the idea. So we think this will get you on the road to being able to grow more quickly and be better adapted to what you have to do to succeed in the next stage. So let's go on. Next slide. All right. This program is mostly funded through government grants. We would like to get from you a refundable deposit of $500. It's refundable if you complete the class. Now, why do we do this? Well, we want you to be there for all 24 sessions. This doesn't really work if you drop out early on. So, skin in the game. We want to take a modest amount there. You finish the class, you make your presentation, the money comes back to you. We found that works pretty well to hold people's interest and to keep them motivated in the class. Now, because the government grant, the largest one that we've gotten to underwrite this program, is done through the city of Sacramento. If you don't already have one, you're probably going to have to get a business license from Sacramento City, and we can walk you through the process of how you do that. It's going to involve spending probably a couple $100. And that's simply because the source of the money, it's an issue for them that they want to give the money to companies that are active in this area, and they can prove that with a business license. So what we need you to do now is think about making formal application, which I'll have Svi talk to you about in terms of where those things are, and we can then talk with you one by one about your level of interest and if you see this as a fit, and go through individual questions. So if we go to the last slide. This is who can register. We need some indication that you're already showing consumer interest. So actionable traction is revenue or some kind of binding purchase agreements, or even if you have some money invested. But let's go to the next slide and talk about your questions. So we've got Svi's contact number on there. At this point, Svi, is there any other thing before I open the discussion here that you would like to add?
Hi everyone. I've been mentioned. My name is Svi. I'm the primary program coordinator for this program. Um, the I'll just say that the Sacramento business license, just to really cover that quickly, is the online application is something we can walk you through. It's pretty quick, it's pretty simple, and currently they're charging $46 for it. So if nothing goes awry, it should just be 46. If we have to apply twice, then that bumps up to 92. But assumably, the business license, which is one of the two requirements we have, there is uh, really quite inexpensive and very accessible. Beyond that, I'd just like to mention that our bench, while we have these really wonderful people we've already covered, is and it does have several more members, and there will be several more investors present at the final event. We just wanted to really highlight the ones that we think are kind of unique to our program that you won't see in other accelerators here in Sacramento and surrounding regions very often. People that we've kind of brought into the fold with our 20 years of connections that we've made. And with that, I'd love.
Yeah, let's open it up to any questions that you may have, but please do make formal application. It costs you nothing, and it will open the door for more discussions with you. And we'll have to make decisions on who's in the cohort for this by the first part of April. So we've got some time to work through all of this with you.
Yep.
So
And
any questions? Go ahead,
application
Sri.
link is in the chat, as well
Okay.
as the link to our landing page.
Okay, so for those that are streaming, I don't know whether they see that. Can you just say
I
what
put
the
it in
link
that
is?
chat as well.
Okay, very good. Thomas, anything else to add before we go to questions? Okay.
One
So
thing
let's
I
let
would note though is, and for all of our accelerators, we've always had a deposit and we've never uh, ever had to withhold one for someone not finishing or completing it. So
yes.
And the deposit is due during the application process, not the
Yep.
initial sign up one on the link, but as you move through, or is it due like at the when you start the program?
when you start the program.
Okay.
Well, after accepted and after we both accept people, or that we've accepted you and you've accepted to join the program, that's when it'll be due. If you want us to just hold a check and then give it back to you at the end, we can do that too. I think the first two CO crash courses, that's what everyone did. They gave me a check and then I gave it back. So
Thank you.
All right. So I apologize. I can't see because I'm on my phone. Any other questions?
I just have a question about the meetings that would possibly be held. Do we have any idea, and I'm sorry if I missed this, on where that might be?
Yeah, that'll be at Bloom Workspaces.
Okay.
It's in downtown Sacramento. Now there may be one or two classes that we go to the Carlson Center at Sac State because they've got a bigger facility. And we've invited a number of other people to join us on those. For example, David Bland's talk on testing business ideas will open up to a broader community. But we'll tell you about that. Then you'll get free parking at Sac State. But they've got a bigger room. Ordinarily, we'll be at our co-working space and we'll be in the conference room there. So that's 20th and Capitol. So it's right in the middle of Midtown. What time will the meetings take place? What we have found, and this is a little bit adjustable, people don't like them during the business hours because they're busy making phone calls. So we've set this up to begin at 5:30 and end about 8 o'clock. There will be some social time where you can talk to your peers and get oriented, and there'll be a break in the middle. 1 day a week, which I think, Svi, we've set up to be Wednesday nights.
Currently,
And
we're flexible depending on who joins the program. We can adjust to make sure that it's a time that everybody can make an appearance.
yeah,
And revenue, and like bootstrapping investment will count. I mean, there's no like revenue minimum, right?
no, I mean, that's
Fraction.
why we like to see the application and then see where you are in the process so we can get a sense of whether we think we can best help you. And then I should point out that while Clean Start was founded to help clean tech companies, we've opened this up to a broader set. And that's why we've gotten experts and coaches that know more than just clean tech. Thomas and I and Svi are more in the clean tech area, and there will be clean tech companies in the cohort. But if you go to our website and look at cleanstart.org, you'll see that we focus on that slice of companies, but that is not a limitation for this deep dive program.
Couple of questions. In terms of completion of the course, I know you and I, Gary, have talked about this, that I'm a couple hours away from Sacramento. If we are attending all of them versus, like, let's say there's one that we can't. I mentioned about my
Yeah,
health disability. If there is something like that that comes up, would that be a problem in terms of being eligible for the refund? You know, are there examples of like a time where these might be virtually recorded? Or a virtual attendance could happen in the case. I don't expect it will, but as we know, sometimes there are surprises that we do not do not expect from the health perspective.
yeah, that is exactly right. We'll work with you on that. Those are just normal things.
Okay, and then my co-founder Nishant, currently, you're currently still in India, right, Nishant?
Yeah, I'm still in India.
Okay, and then you'll be by April, you'll be back in Vancouver?
I don't know when I will be back, but I for sure can join anytime if it's at 5:30 p.m. in the evening. That's like 6 a.m. in the morning for me. I'm an early riser, so I can join. Yeah.
So he would be virtually obvious, but I would be physically there. Does that work?
We should be able
Yeah,
to
that's
make
fine.
that work. I think
Yeah.
several of our sessions will be hybrid.
Okay, great. So he's gonna do his best, but obviously he's located someplace else, so.
And a lot of what we do is focused on mentoring. So there's the classes and then there's a strong mentoring component to it. So what we want to make sure people do is that they engage with the mentors at times that kind of is convenient for them. So that can be done also virtually. You don't have to have every mentoring session in person. And so that part will be a little bit more flexible, and hopefully, because we got a lot of mentors that we've incentivized to make sure that they meet with you guys frequently. Hopefully we'll get a lot of benefit from that. And it's not just, all right, do I have to sit through every single class to do it? We want to make sure that you guys make progress on this and move forward. Because our goals aren't necessarily, or, part of it, yeah, get you through the class, but then the other part of it is make it so that, 2 years from now, you're like, that was something that really launched my career and really helped me.
Awesome. Great.
All right, this is available on YouTube. So if you want to go and revisit any of it, feel free to. Or you can also contact us through z@cleanstart.org. Also, my email is thomas@cleanstart.org. You can figure out the rest of everyone else's email in CleanStart through those two probably. But if we do have any questions from Jasmine, Dominique.
What is the link to the YouTube channel? If you could put that in the chat. And then if there is a link for the Zoom sessions that are virtual going forward, can you put that in the chat so we can ignore Eventbrite?
We won't use Eventbrite for our Zoom sessions in the course.
Okay,
It'll be Google email invites that can, of course, go on iCalendar.
fantastic.
Okay.
Yep, those are all my questions. Thank you.
All right.
We are fintech, so Gary answered my question as well about being allowed to participate. So excited.
Yeah.
The mentors look very, very
And we've focused on making sure that our mentors we've spent a lot of effort to get mentors outside of our usual comfort zone and partnered with a lot of, organizations to make sure that we bring in, quality people to help. So, having someone who's in either fintech or other people that might be in, ag tech or fitness, those have been kind of our goals to make sure that we can accommodate you guys.
Will we, I just have a question or idea, is, given that all of us have different networks and experience, whatever, is there gonna be like a hub where we can share resources with each other, that kind of thing? Because I know we're all connected.
Make that happen.
Networks, that would be helpful, because,
We can set up a Discord and chat on it.
that'd be great.
Yeah. So check out the cleanstart.org/ deep dive. The application's there, or you can just email Z and say, hey, I'm interested and want to, sign up for it. And then we'll get details from you and we'll work forward from there.
Yeah, and I should say we're looking to sign up 10 people for this class. It'll work better if we're a small group. And so this is your guarantee that you will get personal attention, because we're only accepting a limited number of people into this accelerator.
All right.
Thanks, guys. No questions from me. Just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity for us to have such a course. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, excited.
All right. And with that, I'm going to wave everyone goodbye.
All right.
Hopefully see you guys in the future. Bye.
Have a great rest of your week.
Bye-bye.